What are three words you think of when you hear the word anxiety?
Three words that I associate with anxiety are fear, control, and helplessness.
Panic, stress, and uneasiness.
Stress, dread, and PowerPoint.
Anxiety, an emotion characterized by feelings of tension, negative thoughts, and physical changes such as high blood pressure.
When I think about anxiety, I think about it in two different ways. There's normal anxiety, and then there's anxiety that gets in the way of our daily life. I think everyone experiences anxiety from time to time, and if we didn't have a little, we wouldn't be motivated to do a great deal. Anxiety that gets in our way, I would define as an irrational, exaggerated fear of bad things happening.
Anxiety is often an invisible disorder as it is filled with constant worry, irrational thoughts, avoidance, and emotional numbing. But it has huge effects on our body as well as our minds, for example, the panic attack which triggers our fight or flight response. When we only see the most negative aspects of an invisible illness, the stigma associated with it only gets worse.
There's the stigma that says, oh, I can't ask for help. Or there's what I call magical thinking. Maybe tomorrow I'll feel better and it won't be an issue.
I really think that teachers and schools aren't doing enough to talk about anxiety in students, and I think that the first step would be having an open conversation about this. Even the smallest of things, such as introductions in class, can be very anxiety building for students, and I think that having a conversation about it is the first step.
When people say that they have anxiety, that it's an issue that they have, whether they're dealing with school or even sports, I think it's much more accepted now. While before, I think people would definitely see it more as a cop-out from doing their job or not doing as well as in competition at whatever level it was. So I think that awareness has definitely been brought to the forefront.
Are things improving?
I think in this modern times, more and more people are coming to realize that anxiety is out there. It affects millions of North Americans, and I think there's less and less stigma attached to it as time goes on. But it can be, in many cases, very debilitating and can get in the way of people living normal lives.
Are we doing enough to help those with anxiety? What more can we do to support them?
I think nowadays there is a great number of things online that are quite legitimate, that are apps that can help people reduce anxiety. There are also cognitive behavioral online programs that can allow someone to work through, in a gradual way, certain exposures and approaches to coping with small then larger amounts of situations or triggers that make the person anxious themselves.
One coping technique that I often use for myself to ease anxiety along with my clients is a grounding technique, and it involves talking about things that you can see in the moment when you're feeling anxious, or things you can smell, touch, hear, just something to ground you to the moment.
Talking about your fears with someone that knows you and is sympathetic and is just willing to listen is very, very helpful. I always say power walks once a day are one of the best things I've ever told students. It changes your neurotransmitters and it gives you a boost of mood and a calming effect. I often encourage people to use worry diaries, to write out their fears and then look at what they've written and sort of ask themselves, how likely are these things that I'm afraid of going to happen?
Anxiety is a unique disorder that everybody experiences differently. If you or anyone you know is suffering from anxiety, please try and seek help. You are not alone, and there are a lot of resources out there for you.
good luck out there. If you're feeling anxious, don't hesitate to come into counseling services.